Welcome to the Thunderclad. We already have a good little rumble. Sage saying, let's make like rain and frig off. How about that? You know what, Sage? Your Highness of Wrenches, I've got a question for you to start out this stream. What would you like to start with first? Baseball or football? We'll leave it in your hands. Sage says football. It doesn't matter what you want. We're starting with baseball, Sage. See what I did there? I set you up. I set you up. I swashbuckled you right there. How does that feel being served a plate of humiliation? You know what? I'm not going to eat shit. You're going to eat a whole plate of fucking cat shit. And then I'm going to bring you a fucking plate of fucking steak. How's that sound? You'll eat the whole piece of shit. Take a look at what... okay. Yeah, okay. Just shut up. It was a rib. It was a rib. I had ribs for lunch. That's why I'm doing this. All right, let's lay off the Ron Burgundy and the Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And let's get to the baseball news that we have here today. Sage, shut your mouth for the remainder of the broadcast. That's all I ask. Thank you. Come again. All right. Well, we got a little bit of Blue Jays news in here today. We will cover football. Don't worry, Sage. I know you're unruly. But it was a shitty-ass game where a shitty-ass team beat a shitty team, basically, is what happened tonight. So I've already summed that up. Blue Jays made a signing today. They signed left-handed pitcher Michael Plasmeyer to a minor league contract. Obviously, there's an invitation to spring training as well. It is a move that is not likely to be a very big move. The Jays certainly do lack depth in their bullpen from a left-handed pitching standpoint. I don't really know if this is the answer, though. This guy typically throws in the high 80s and can hit the low 90s, basically, with his fastball. Last year, now I believe this is in the minor leagues, actually. So, yeah, he hasn't pitched since 2022, 2023 for the Phillies, and he had only made 3 appearances. But in the minor leagues, I mean, he had a 4.43 ERA, a 21.9% strikeout rate, which is good across 105 innings. I don't know if this is a bullpen move, just more starting pitching depth. It's just depth. It is what it is. It doesn't have the same upside or oomph that signing Eric Lauer did have last year, but it's a signing nonetheless. You can never have too many options, and you never know. Maybe you coach up one of these guys and they become something. It's not a reason to get excited, and it's certainly not a reason to be upset either. Doesn't mean they're cheaping out on the bullpen. We also have the Oakland Athletics. God damn, if these little fuckers could fucking pitch, then they'd be in real good shape. But they did sign a pitcher, reliever Mark Leiter, to, what were the terms for his deal? It seems like it might have been a 1-year deal, but I'm just going to double check if they've got the terms of the contract. It looks like... Let's see what Spotrac has to say about this signing here. It looks like it was just a 1-year, $2-something million deal, 2.85. Okay, so not spending a whole lot, definitely a bargain. Not a terrible reliever, not a difference maker. I mean, he was non-tendered by the Yankees, put up an ERA this year just south of 5. Previously in 2024, he had a 4.50 ERA. In terms of what he usually does innings-wise, I mean, I don't think he usually does that many. I think he's kind of a bullpen guy that you can kind of keep out there for multiple innings there. And I'm looking up Mark Leiter, and I'm getting the wrong result. I'm getting a guy from fucking 1990. This is not the right guy. Now I've found the right guy. To be honest, it's kind of a shitty signing. I didn't know that he played with the Blue Jays at one time. I did not know that. With the Blue Jays, he played to the tune of a 13.5 ERA, 6.2. So 6.2 innings that year. So that's interesting. Anyways, it's Mark Leiter. He fucking sucks. It's just a signing. It's just something for us to cover before we get to kind of the big news here. Do we want to get to the big news? Let's actually get to the big news because it does relate to the Blue Jays. A guy I was hoping that the Blue Jays would sign, Robert Suarez, is off the board. He has signed a 3-year, $45 million deal with the Atlanta Braves. I don't believe he's going to be the closer. I believe Rafael Iglesias is going to be the closer. So that forms a very nice 1-2 punch for Atlanta. I'm going to quickly go over each of their numbers just very quickly. Suarez has only pitched 4 years in the majors, 2.91 ERA. Last year he was sitting at 2.97. For his career, 9.4 strikeouts per 9 and 9.7 last year. And walk rate, 2.7 for his career, 2.1 last year. So you're getting a very consistent product here. Guy I wanted, I mean, he's 34 years old. I'm not going to lose sleep over it, but he can bring the heat. So he's definitely a good guy. And it looks like he is stepping into that setup role because the Braves have Rafael Iglesias. Now, maybe they'll go committee. I don't follow the fucking Braves enough to know. So we'll see what happens. But another consistent player. Now, Iglesias had a bit of a rough spell last year. Still ended with a 3.21 ERA. For his career, has a 2.9 ERA and strikeout numbers, 10.6 strikeouts per 9 and 2.5 walks per 9 innings. So I like what Atlanta's doing. They're both old. I don't think they're going to fall. I don't think their tires are about to fall off yet. I don't think they're going to be stuck in mud, but they are getting older. So you never know with some of those pitchers once they start hitting the mid 30s there. Other news, well, Lane Thomas signed a fucking contract with the Royals, 1 year, $5.25 million. And I kind of like the signing. It's a good bargain. He's not really, I don't know, he's not really making a ton of money. It's a 1-year deal. If he gets on track and you make the playoffs, that's great. If he doesn't, then you can potentially trade him at the deadline if he recoups his value. This year was terrible for him. We're talking a 518 OPS, and it was only 142 plate appearances, which is nice. That tells me that obviously he was banged up, so you can kind of move past that. For his career, 727 OPS. This guy does have a little bit of thunder in the bat. He hit 28 home runs in 2023 to go along with 20 stolen bases. The year after that, he had 15 home runs for Washington as well as Cleveland to go along with 32 stolen bases. So you're looking at a guy who legitimately can hit you 15 to 20 home runs a year and steal 20 to 30 bags. If he bounces back to what he did in 2023, that'd be great. I do feel like Lane Thomas a little bit, based on my recollection, because I know Dan briefly had him in Fantasy League. I think he's more of a guy that wears out left-handed pitching, so I think he's more of a platoon player. And it's kind of funny because I'm kind of looking up at the top here at his numbers. Believe it or not, it looks like he was actually drafted by the Blue Jays in the 2014 MLB draft in the 5th round. So kind of interesting there. I think it's a good move. It's not going to be a game-changing move for Kansas City. I'm sure they got more work to do in their outfield, but these type of players are not going to hurt you. That's for sure. I mean, other news we got minor news here. Like I don't even know if it's worth reporting, but we'll report it anyway. The Cleveland Indians, not the Cleveland Guardians, did sign Colin Holderman to a 1-year, $1.5 million deal. Coming off a terrible fucking year last year, had a 7.01 ERA and a 4.13 ERA for his career. He's actually had a couple good years. I mean, he's got, for his career, 4 years under 4 ERA, but then 2 years above a 6 ERA. So it's kind of a Jekyll Hyde for him, but it seems like a good pickup. Not a top end guy for sure. Scrambles, get the fuck off the fucking computer. Seriously, get the fuck down, or I'll fucking put you down, son of a bitch. I can't stand these fucking cats. All I have to fucking say here. So we're almost done all our news, but we've got a couple rumors to go over. We forgot to go over last night. Joey Gallo. So remember him? Remember him in New York? Well, I remember him in Texas, I think it was. Big power, couldn't hit for average, whatever. Went to New York, got booed out of the fucking stadium. Well, apparently he's transitioning to moving to a pitcher. Apparently he's been hitting high 90s with his fastball. So would be very interesting to see him come back and actually do well in the majors. And hey, if you do real well, then maybe you get comeback player of the year. Surprised he's only 32. I thought he would be a little bit older than that. We also have a rumor here. So the Milwaukee Brewers are likely to trade either Trevor McGill or Freddie Peralta, and they're stating the obvious by saying Trevor McGill is more likely to go. Well, that certainly makes sense there. Trevor McGill, I mean, for the Blue Jays, does he make a whole lot of sense? I mean, I'd probably trade for him. I like what he's done the last 2 years. I would not give up much. I mean, his ERA is right around 4. Evens out to be about 4. However, the FIP does suggest he's around 3.5. But if year in and year out, your FIP is higher than your ERA or vice versa, well, then that suggests something else. I do like the strikeout numbers the last 2 years, 10.5 in 2024, 11.7 last year. Do not really like the walk numbers, 4.3 per 9 is a very volatile number, in my opinion. So I don't really think the Blue Jays are going to get involved in this. Not really sure how much it would cost. I don't presume it would cost a ton. I just don't think this moves the needle enough for the Blue Jays. Yeah, if he's like one of your lower leverage guys, I'm okay with it, but we gotta. I think we gotta be targeting some guys with a little bit more upside there, at least in my opinion. And Sage, are you still there? Huh? We just covered the baseball, Sage. Baseball got covered. Baseball got covered. Let's cover the football game. Sage, before we cover the football game, I've got some other news to go over. So I want you to write this on your calendar. On September 19th, LSU's Lane Kiffin will return to Old Mississippi. Write that on your calendar. That is an important game. He potentially could take over as mascot for OJ's Juicery. It's in the talks. Also, TJ Watt is in the hospital having his lung evaluated. He is questionable to play this week. Only other interesting thing that I read today was a Kobe Bryant card made $1.22 million at an auction. So it was signed, of course, and obviously very rare. But, yeah. Don't throw out your fucking cards. That's all I have to tell people. What do you mean written? What's been written, Sage? Are we talking about the Elder Scrolls here? What are we talking about? Sage, I'm going to pretend like you didn't just say that. Okay? I'm going to pretend like you didn't just say that. How short is my memory? Sage, I'm reading. How many stats have I thrown out in the last few minutes? You told me to jot important news and, oh, Lane Kiffin. Sorry, Sage, September 19th. See, I don't actually write things down. They just go into my membrane. So I'm sorry that you actually have to go out and grab your fucking Bic pen, suck on it to get the fucking ink out. Otherwise, you're going to be dribbling your fucking blood from your finger and signing it that way. I'm sorry that that's what you have to do. Okay? I'm sorry. Some of us just have a fucking I have a good memory, Sage. Please take it back. Take back everything you've said bad about me over the years. We have a report that Hogwarts Legacy is free on Epic. So anyone that's a Hogwarts fan, I just got a report that it is free on Epic. Now let's get to a game that does change the playoffs in the NFL slightly, at least for now. Sage, I was gonna do a Path of Exile stream soon, Sage. So you're gonna be here. You're gonna be here streaming. Yep, it is free after you already paid for it. That's why you shouldn't pay for shitty games, because they become free eventually. Anyways, let's get to football. Sage has been waiting for this for at least 12 minutes. At least 12 minutes he's been waiting for this. So, Atlanta is a bad team. However, they've improved to 5-9 after beating Tampa Bay 29-28, coming back. Tampa Bay is 7-7, and the Carolina Panthers now control their destiny. They are now in first place, I do believe. So very interesting. Kirk Cousins, from what I can see here, had a big fucking game. 373 yards, 3 touchdowns. He averaged 8.5 per throw as well, so he had a big fucking game, is all I have to say about it. Baker Mayfield, not great, not terrible, but, I mean, it wasn't enough to beat the Falcons, so it couldn't have been that good. 277 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception, 8.1 average, 19 for 34. So definitely not as good as Kirk Cousins. Running-wise, I mean, Bijan Robinson was great. 93 yards on 19 carries with a touchdown. Kyle Pitts, though, had a huge game. 166 yards on 11 receptions. And Bijan Robinson added 82 yards on 8 receptions. So definitely taking care of business. I don't even know who the fuck David Sills is, but he had a big game. 78 yards on fucking 6 receptions. So there you go. Mike Evans did return for the Bucs. He looked real well. 132 yards, no touchdowns, but he did have 6 receptions. Running game was okay. I mean, 3.8 per carry for Bucky Irving, 60 yards. Ricard White only had 1 carry for 20. I mean, but the running game was definitely a lot better for the fucking Atlanta Falcons. Receiving quarterback play was definitely better, and they were able to scrape out a win late. I don't know for turnovers what happened exactly. Looks like my cornerback got a recovery, Jacob Parrish, but they also fumbled as well. Actually, the Falcons fumbled more, and they actually lost a fumble, so maybe that's why the score was 29-28 and not something different. But yeah, it's going to be extremely hilarious just to see how this ends. The Carolina Panthers could technically end up being the fucking champions of the fucking AFC South. And if that happens, nobody predicted that. I don't even think that the fans predicted that. So, yeah, there is that. Baker might get the drop, is what Sage is saying. That is his backup quarterback to Matt Stafford in OJ's juicery. He says he's been shit lately. Yeah, he came out the first 3 or 4 weeks at least, and he looked like a real gunslinger. He looked like he was taking care of business. Last little while, they've gone from what, like a 5-2 team or 6-2. I don't know what their record was, but it was hell. It was a hell of a record, and now it's kind of looking like shit, man. You're 7-7. You've only got, how many games left, man? You've got 4 games left. 3. They've only got 3 games left, man. It's kind of crunch time here, man. Like they have to get things going a little bit. Speaking of getting things going, I am going to get going. I will do one more sweep of the harbor first. Just see if, there's any news that trickled in late, because we did have it happen the other night with the Finnegan signing. Back to Detroit. Nah, we got nothing. We're not going to be reporting fucking minor league signings unless it's with the Blue Jays, because that would just be getting a little bit carried away. So we're going to call it there. Sage, I will try to do a Path of Exile stream extremely soon, but I am not going to do it tonight. But Sage, if you bug me enough tomorrow, maybe I can join your crew. I can play a little Path of Exile with you, and I can maybe kick your ass in there. How's that sound? I'll probably have to do the updates, though, I do think. But that's a wrap. We're out of here. Have a good night, guys. Oh, I'd love to PvP you, man. I'd pulverize you, man. I'd kick your bitchy little ass, punk. Good night.